If you've ever been fortunate enough to see a Tamburitsans performance, then you have felt the excitement and vitality these performers generate. It's easy to forget that these performers are young people, all full-time Duquesne students. They share a passion for performance, art, and history. These students have a story to tell that connects us all and reminds us of our heritage. However, the Tamburitsans, known as the Tammies to devoted fans across the country, have a rich history of their own that finds its roots deep within Duquesne University.
Folklore. Stories about all people of all regions of the world. Folk art. Stories as preserved and shared through the enriching expression of the human soul. Songs. Dances. Music. Costumes. Instruments. All with characteristics identifiably unique to each culture, yet with one element common to all, the same instinctive passion to tell their stories. There is another group of people who share this passion to tell many of these stories, a group with a story of its own. In 1932, Dr. A. Lester Pierce, a college professor of psychology in St. Paul, Minnesota, was enchanted by the sound of a folk instrument of the Balkan countries. So he banded together a trio of young musicians who played this tambura or tamburitsa. Their mission? To entertain. Their remuneration? Work scholarships at St. Thomas College, where Dr. Pierce taught. As the minstrels traveled, their popularity grew, and so did their membership. Yet it wasn't until 1937 that the troupe found the place that would become their home. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the prosperous steel city capital of America, a thriving metropolis generated by the hard work of common folk from widely diverse cultural backgrounds. It was obvious to Dr. Pierce that this was the place for his orchestra to thrive, but not without an equally thriving academic environment, one where the young performers could develop their own stories through work scholarships. Duquesne University. Perched atop Pittsburgh's downtown region, Duquesne University was already attracting an international community. Founded by the Congregation of the Holy Spirit of Germany and Ireland, Duquesne University is dedicated to preserving and developing its own mission and heritage, to develop the mind, the heart, and the spirit of the individual. Here the ensemble found a vibrant environment with a shared vision of outreach. This was to be a perfect match. The Duquesne University Tamburitsans. Their mission to both preserve and celebrate our diverse heritage. Duquesne University, the haven from where for over 6 decades the Tamburitsans have continued to receive work scholarships while continuing to tell the stories of generations past.
Being a Tammy. I loved dancing. I loved all that hard work. I loved all those shows. That's one of the great things about Tammies, is I learned that being on that stage was wonderful. I loved it, and it was just the beginning. So I wanted to do more. That's one of the things that helped me get to Broadway. Driving on those buses. I mean, no bus and truck tour was ever as difficult as the Tammy tours. I mean, we were our own wardrobe, hair, laundry. The men in the orchestra had to tune those instruments. We did everything. But when you get into a Broadway show, you know, you get other people that help you along the way. The Tammies, the hard work that you learn about how to get that show up, that was invaluable.
First saw the Tamburitsans in 1980. I had never experienced anything like this before. I'd been to several of the countries that they represent, Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia as it was then. And it was very exciting for me. I came away with the impression that they were very dynamic, exciting, different type of ensemble that I had never experienced before.
So, I mean, it's not that we simply have dancers and singers who work on it. Some of the musicians, I mean, as a musician myself, some of the musicians that I have seen over the last 12 or 13 years doing tambourine performances are absolutely phenomenal. The level of excellence is overwhelming. Why do the Tambouricians get standing ovations wherever they go? I mean, everybody stands up and applauds.
I love it.
I've been watching Duquesne University for many years since I came to this country for 12 years. And every year I come and see them, and they are wonderful.
It's so wonderful to be able to see that culture is still alive in America.
I really like this show because I like the dancing. My name is Melody, and I really like the show.
Well, I've been studying them since right before World War II. I was a young boy then.
My name is Norma Vance, and I'm a former Tambourician, and I love the Tambouricians, and they get better and better. I thought we were good in my day, the year one, but I see they're improving greatly, and they are a sensational group, and I always enjoy seeing them year after year after year.
Oh, I like the hot dance, and I like the part where that one guy took all those hearts and he was dancing around, and that's my favorite part.
I've been watching the Tambouricians since I was a freshman at Duquesne. I hate to tell you how long ago that's been. That's back in 1956, and I graduated in '60. So we go anywhere the Tambouricians are, we try to go. We really do, and we love them.
You can't come away from a performance of the Tammies without really feeling proud. And to see what these young people can accomplish, and in addition to that, maintain their studies, to be able to proceed with their education, to prepare themselves for a career, and get to be such goodwill ambassadors. And
the fact that they give these college students a chance to get a degree is wonderful. That was always first and foremost.
Hi, I'm Marvin Hamlish. I wrote a little tune a few years back called The Way We Were. Well, the mission of the Duquesne University Tambouricians is a lot like that song, because The Way We Were is what the Tambouricians present every time they step out onto stages all across America. Their vibrant music, songs, and dances link us to a shared past, because we're all immigrants to this great land in one way or another. The Tambouricians glorify that past in a most unique and heartfelt way, worthy of the finest concert halls, yet at home in the most humble high school auditorium. These college students depend on the scholarship aid they receive for their participation in this wonderful ensemble. That's why it's so important to support the Tambouricians' endowed scholarships at Duquesne University, to reward these fine artists for their talents, for their achievements, and for their dedication to the way we were.
we have an obligation. I mean, God gives you certain gifts and successes, and I think we have an obligation to give something back to the community.
For the donors that want to support the Tambouricians, you're getting better citizens, better college students. They're going to come out and support the community. And hopefully, as all of us, will give back to the community, come back and want to teach those future Tambouricians, those generations of Pittsburghers or New Yorkers, or take that into whatever community, wherever you live, and give back.
The first Tambouricians trio of 1932 was supported by work scholarships. We want to continue this tradition so that the Tammies can tell the stories that connect us to generations past and to generations to come. We never want to turn away a student who desires a Duquesne education simply because he or she cannot afford it. I would ask that you assist these students and allow the Tamburitsans to continue to tell their story. And we'd like you to become a part of that story too. I thank you in advance for your support.
Absolutely marvelous, marvelous. Wonderful evening. Thank you for the entertainment.